Hi everybody, this is the Baseball Hut, the amazing, spectacular, terrific, the great one, the People's Champion, your host, the Hut, and here we are back at the Baseball Hut talking about the New York Mets. They are on pace to lose 90 games. How the fuck did that happen? How'd that happen? Well, this game was an interesting game tonight against the Brewers. The Mets had a 2-0 lead. Brett Beatty had a home run tonight, which he hadn't done in a long time. And Brandon Nimmo, who's been playing actually pretty good, well during this horrible stretch of games. But it all came down to really not getting the big hit, the bullpen not closing the door and keeping the door shut, and this is a losing team. This is a team that is on pace to lose 90 games. They're gonna right now they're 36-45. They're 9 games under 500, and they're on pace, as Gary said, to go 72-90. Now that is quite the stunning reversal from what we saw last year when the Mets won 101 games. But when you don't get the pitching, your offense is spotty at best. They don't hit in the clutch. You're gonna have this kind of a season. It is very it's difficult to watch because the ballpark was juiced up tonight. I mean, the people in the ballpark were very excited. There hasn't been a lot of juice the last 3 games, but there's a lot of people there really rooting this team on hard. A lot of people watching this game, they were during it, in the ballpark, they were really into it. And to see them sort of just completely collapse, in that ninth inning. I mean, the at-bats were, Guillorme, it's just horrible to watch him hit. There's nothing to that, the way he hits, that I felt confident. I didn't think he was going to get a big hit in the ninth inning. And Marte has been, and just go to Starling Marte. Marte is he's lost. I don't know if he's done as a force as a player, because last year he was money in the bank. A big at bat like that, he would have gotten a hit like that. I think he has if I remember right, in his career, he's got 11 walk-offs in his career. So this is a guy that is not afraid of the moment. But he swung at every change up that Williams threw in that ninth inning. He's completely lost at the plate. It looked like he was coming around, but he ground out the 2 double plays tonight. The strikeout in the ninth inning. It's just, it is very exhausting as a Met fan to watch this team has such. And the energy of this team was not bad tonight. They were fighting pretty hard in this game, but it's all about the result. I hope Buck doesn't say tonight after this game, they fought hard. No, it's about the result. Gotta get the big hits. This has been the problem since last September. Not getting big hits when they need it. And now we have an extra problem, and that's no pitching. Although the pitching wasn't bad tonight. But this is the sign of a losing team. You score 6 runs, you lose 7-6. You get good pitching, you lose 3-2. You get great pitching, you lose 1-0. You lose 5-4. There's an error in the ball in the game, or there's a bad. And I would mention that the umpire in this game was terrible. Behind the plate was terrible. And really in this series, in particular, I didn't think that the umpires in this series were very good. Weimer struck out on Wednesday night. He didn't get hit by a pitch. He got hit by a pitch, but he swung the bat. But the umpiring was so bad in this series. But that's not an excuse. You can't complain that this didn't happen, that didn't happen. The bottom line is, Mets aren't getting good pitching. When they get good pitching, they don't hit enough. When they hit enough, that bullpen blows it. That is the sign of a team that's on pace to lose 90 games. Like Gary said, it's a stunning reversal of where we've been over the last year, considering how tough they were last year. But really, since September, they've been 7 games. Oh, way under that. It must be 10 games under 500 since September, I think. Well, they were 14-12 in September. I think 3-3. Yeah, so about 9. Oh, yeah, 7 games under 500, I think, since September 1st of last year. So they're a losing team right now, and we know that Steve Cohen has come out in support of the general manager. He's come out in support of the manager. But this team has to get broken up. This team cannot. We can't continue to watch this, because as the team gets further into the abyss, they dig themselves a deeper and deeper and deeper hole, and you see less light at the end of the tunnel. And if there is light at the end of the tunnel, what's that line? There's probably a train at the other end, ready to strike you. But there are plenty of guys that are to blame. The main culprit on this team is the lack of pitching on this team. Scherzer has been good over the last few weeks, but he wasn't good in April. He was terrible in April and early part of May. Verlander's been up and down. Senga is walking too many batters. This offense, like I said, the pitching they just don't go deep enough in the games, and that is a major problem. You don't go deep in the games, you don't have a chance to win. And when you got to rely on guys like T.J. McFarland now and Dominic Leone, get these guys out of here. They stink. There's a reason why the Mets picked them up off the scrap heap. They are terrible. Terrible. Get him out of here. And of course, Jeff Brigham. Get him out of here, too. He reminds me of Jeff Nelson. Remember Jeff Nelson? The right-handed played for Seattle and pitched for the Yankees. I'll tell you, Jeff Brigham, somewhere else, he reminds me a lot of Jeff Nelson, except Jeff Nelson got outs. He threw strikes. But other than that, a great comparison, quite frankly. But, all joking aside, this pitching is terrible. And I said this, I've been saying this for weeks, that falls on the general manager. There's not going to be any changes with the front office right now, with the manager right now. But they have to make changes on the field. Guys have to go. They got to start moving pieces out of here so we can talk about something else. I want to talk about something else. I'd like to see Mark Vientos get a shot. I'd like to see Ronnie Mauricio up here. I'd like to see a bunch of these young pitchers, which the Mets don't have a lot of, get their chance to be here in the major leagues. Okay? I'm tired of watching this. I know you're tired of watching it. I'm tired of watching it. Thank God we got another month, and then we'll find out what the hell they're going to do. But the way it's going, and I said this on yesterday's video, this team, it hasn't shown it, and it's not going to show it. I hate going down this road, but it's time to break this team up. Canna has to go. Vogelback has to go. I would look to try to move Scherzer if he's willing to waive his no trade clause, and the Mets take all the money that they owe him on the contract and get a good price for him, get him out of here. And you can get a lot for him. He's still a very good pitcher. Get him out of here. Bring the kids up. Really only two kids, really. Get rid of Narvaez. What's he doing here for? Don't need him. If this team isn't going to win, you don't need a veteran catcher when you have this young catcher behind the plate. And just bring back our buddy Tomas Nido. Might as well. Hello, Tomas. Welcome back. Which they might have to do anyway. Or maybe Michael Perez. You never know. But yeah, this is a mess, and they're going to have to make very tough decisions over the next month. They can't stand pat. They can't keep these guys here. Start moving some pieces out of here. This team needs pitching in the organization. On July 9th, we're going to have the amateur draft. I guess in Seattle. That draft is not considered a very good pitching draft. It's a very good college bat draft. It's a very good high school draft. There are some star pitchers, Paul Skeens, and a few other guys. Keep an eye on Thomas White. He may be a guy the Mets might get at the 32nd pick. But this is not a great draft. It's not a good draft for pitching. So this team has to find a way to start moving these pieces and get some pitching into this organization. Eat as much money as you can. Now, I was thinking about this. The Mets don't, even though they have the highest payroll in baseball, they really only have two big contracts on this whole team, really. Real long-term contracts. Brandon Nimmo and Francisco Lindor. they don't have a lot of contracts that are really long-term. I mean, the only real long-term contract they have is of Starling Marte. That's not that crazy. They got 2 more years on him. Tommy Pham has to go. You can get quite a bit now for Tommy Pham. You might be able to get a little bit more for him than what the Reds got for him last year. Now Scherzer, get back to him for a minute. There are teams that are going to be interested in him. Especially if you take all the money, you're basically giving him for free, but you want to get a big prospect, a good prospect back. There are teams that are going to be interested in him that need pitching. The Diamondbacks, the Orioles. Although I mentioned about the Orioles don't have much in terms of upper level pitching. That's on, in the top 30 currently. That I think the Mets would want. I've heard the Reds a little bit. Keep an eye again on the Dodgers a little bit. The team needs to change the focus. And how you do that is you start moving pieces out of here. If this team's on pace for 90 losses, get these assholes out of here. Get them out of here. Let's go with something else. Like I said, some of these guys have to go just to change the story a little bit. Why they do a video with Mets? They traded Tommy Pham for some minor leaguer, some minor league pitcher. They traded Mark Canha. Mark Canha will get moved. Some team will want him. People say, who's going to want him? Hey, Mets traded Eduardo Escobar. But nobody thought they would trade him, and they did. So you can trade anybody. They were willing to trade him, and nobody heard about this trade until it happened. So don't say they can't trade any of these other guys. They traded Eduardo Escobar, and he wasn't playing at all. But just keep that in mind as we get closer to the trade deadline, which is in another month. This was some horrific June, and we got one more day of this, folks. Got one more day of June. This is one of the worst swoons I've ever seen. This might be the worst June swoon the Mets have ever had. That's how bad this is. 36-45. They got Buck on now. What's he gonna say? Oh, this is great. This is great. Oh, wonderful Buck. I'll tell you, you talk about a different manager from this year to last year. Did everything right last year. And it doesn't seem like he's done anything right. But that's what happens when you get a bad team that's going to lose 90 games. And they are not far off to lose 100 games. Just think about that. If they have another slide, they could lose 100 games. I hate to go down that road. But, they're on pace to lose 90 games. It's exhausting. Watching this day in and day out. But we have another month of this. They're going to make moves. This can't continue. Not right now. When we get past the All-Star break, another week and a half, then we'll start hearing things. Especially that Friday, stuff will start to pop up. Because as you know, if you don't know, during the All-Star break, a lot of these teams, they're all sitting together in these different suites in the ballpark in Seattle. They're going to be talking about different things. This stuff's going to start percolating. That's if it hasn't started already. Mets have to start moving pieces now. You can't hold on to this group. You just can't. The owner's fine in my book, but this team is a mess. This group is a mess, and then you have to move the pieces out of here, and start changing the story and just moving on. Unfortunately, well, let me know what you think about this video. We got one more day of this swoon. Hopefully, July will be a little bit better. But you know what? Doesn't look like it. Thank you for watching this video. Please subscribe to the Baseball Hut again. Before I forget, check out the Baseball Hut 2. Getting close to 1,000 subs. I can't thank you enough. And check out the Prospect Hut. I do pretty much every day. I've done it the last few days. Been busy with work. Videos on the prospects the Mets have. We're going to be doing a lot of stuff on them. Believe me, we're going to be adding a whole bunch of new prospects to this team after the draft and after the trade deadline. So thank you for watching. Please subscribe to the Baseball Hut, and I'll see you later.